Hello and welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger, and today we're going to do another knife review. The date is December 9, 2023. This will be the last Survival Saturday before we officially take the show off the air for 2 months while I go on vacation. But don't worry, I'll still be around and I'll try to post little updates and shorts once in a while so you guys know what I'm up to. But before we take a look at the knife, of course, we got to hear from our sponsor. Remember, if you want some cool gifts and toys and knives of your own, check out Hidden Corner Finds.
Welcome to my parlor. oh, I mean, uh, Welcome, traveler, to the Hidden Corner Finds. I am Joanne, and this is my humble store. Pull up a chair, stay a while, make yourself at home. What? Oh, you want to know what I'm selling? Everything and anything. In short, I have a passion for. Ugh, why did it just bleep me? All I said was, I have a passion for picking, I said. Yeesh. You can't say anything on YouTube these days without this censorship. Anyways, as I was saying, I have a passion for picking. For me, there is nothing more satisfying than finding a unique and forgotten item and uniting it with someone who will really appreciate it for years to come. Whether it's a soapstone carving, an old book, or simply a mug to make you laugh, I try and find something for everyone. My goal is to make you a confident buyer. Older items often have a lifetime of stories to tell. I strive to describe the good as well as the bumps and bruises they've experienced along the way. It's important that the pictures reflect what you will receive. To that end, I always encourage questions and will do my best to respond as quick as possible. Appreciate you stopping by the store. If you can't find what you're looking for, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always looking for new ideas and will keep an eye out for your item in my travels.
Honey, what the happened to my action figure collection?
Whoops, gotta go. Bye.
So today we are going to look at this little knife that's been with me for years. I think I got this back in 2004. I don't even know if they still sell this. Back then it was somewhere around 25 bucks. And it's a Smith& and Wesson, usually a pretty good brand, Smith& and Wesson, but this one it has its good and bad. And unfortunately it's I guess it's okay for low budget knife, but compared to a lot of the other stuff you can get out there for that $20, $30 price, I think you can do a lot better. However, it is still a decent little knife. So we're going to take a look. This is the Smith& and Wesson Electrician Hawkbill knife. Um, so I'm not quite sure why they call this an electrician knife because honestly, when I was thinking about like electrician, if you're going to be working around electricity, then you would think the handle would be rubber or something that doesn't conduct electricity. But this thing is pretty much all stainless steel. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if an electrician is want to use something like this. But that's the name of it, Electrician Hawkbill Knife by Smith& and Wesson. It has an embossed stainless handle, embossed here. I guess that's the name. And you can see the screws in the handle. Uh, Not very attractive, unfortunately. Um, at the end of the handle, there's this little bail thing. I guess this is for you to hang it on key rings or whatever you need to hang it on. I'm going to show what I use that for later. The blade is quite large, even though the entire thing is not too big. When it's folded up, this knife is about 4 inches long, so the handle is 4 inches long. And I don't know if you guys can see this. It's the profile is very slim. Like this is something that I can actually tuck into my wallet. It's like almost like a credit card knife. It's really slender. The side profile is very slender, very flat. Uh, yeah, this is a really like about the thickness of a deck of card, I would say. Um, and the blade, once we deploy the blade, it has a hawkbill, almost karambit shape. It's not quite a karambit, and this is definitely not a karambit because there's no fingering on this, although you can get a pretty decent commando reverse grip on this. The knife has a liner lock, like this piece of metal that you have to push to the side before you can fold the blade in. It has a nice, solid, snappy click when you open it and close it. It feels pretty solid, pretty tight. Right? But I think most of you that can look at the screen now, by now you can see where the problem is with this knife. It's there's no way to open this one-handed. Like, yeah, there's no thumb groove, there's no thumb stud, there's no lever, there's nothing. There's just nothing to indicate that you can even open this one-handed. Uh, so this is definitely a two-handed knife. You hold it with one hand, and the other hand pull the knife uh, out and then unfold it and let it click into place. And then at the bottom of the blade, there's a little bit of a finger guard. Not much, so don't get carried away with this. The guard is very small. So with the small guard and this handle being so skinny, flat, and stainless steel, your grip is not going to be super tight. This thing is going to slip and slide in your hand when your hand gets sweaty or wet or whatever. So be careful with this, right? The construction of the handle as well is very square. Like the edges. Let me fold the knife up so we can take a closer look at the handle. The edges are very uh, sharp on the handle. Not sharp enough to cut you, but just sharp enough to be uncomfortable in your grip. Okay, so that's another problem. It's not what I would call attractive or ergonomic handle at all. The blade is 3 inches long, so the whole knife is about 7 inches long when deployed. And like I said, the blade have this hawkbill form, hawkbill shape that is curved down like a karambit. The blade steel is okay. Listen to this one. Okay, because it sounds pretty good. It's hammer forged surgical grade stainless steel. Let me say that again because that just sounds really good when I it sounds really impressive when I say it. Hammer forged surgical grade stainless steel. Yeah, sounds really good, right? Except it doesn't really tell you what it is. Yeah. Um, so that's pretty much the whole knife, right? It's a 7 inch knife, 4 inch and folded up, 3 inch blade, curved hawkbill construction. You can't open it one-handed. It doesn't feel very comfortable in the hand. However, it is flat enough for great carrying options. Like you can, like I said, put this in your wallet, put this in your pocket. Like it doesn't take up hardly any room. Um, it will not bulge out your pocket or whatever. It's really slim. So before I give you my final thought on this little knife, I want to do a quick cutting test. Let me adjust the camera. All right. So now that I got the camera situated, hopefully, we are going to. I don't have anything offhand, but I do have this empty box left over from cat litter nearby, so we can use this. I just have to make sure I don't make a royal mess on the floor, either with cat litter or with my blood. Now, those of you that have had cats and have to buy cat litter before, you know how tough this material is. I don't know what kind of cardboard they make these out of, but this thing is tough. When you try to open this, it takes a lot of work sometimes. Okay, so I don't know how our little Smith and Wesson is going to perform. We're going to give it a whirl. By the way, here's another problem with this knife. Sometimes, unless you open it with a nice enough snap, it doesn't want to lock in. The lock won't engage. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt trying to get this to lock up sometime, especially if you're in a hurry. Okay, so we have our kitty litter box here. We got a knife. So since this is a hawkbill construction, the cutting motion has to be slightly different, right? So we got to drive this in. There we go. Now that it bite in, we do a pry in motion. Oh, yeah, it come out like that. Yeah, this is not doing as good as I thought it would. So we're going to change our cutting tactic. Let me go in front of the camera. Part of the problem with a cutting test like this is when I don't have a table to work on, I'm trying to hold the box with one hand and cut with the other hand, and this is so awkward, especially when I'm trying not to cut myself. Okay, so if we do like a what I call a can opener, bottle opener motion, and just do that. Yeah. So it does cut like that, but like I said, this is very tough material, and this knife simply doesn't give me the kind of grip needed for heavy cutting. Um, it does cut, but it takes a lot of wrist strength and a lot of kind of a prying motion. Cutting paper is fine. Cutting other lighter material is fine, but that box is definitely challenging. Like I wouldn't recommend using this knife for a box like that because it's just a matter of time before you put too much pressure on and then it go somewhere you don't want it to go and you hurt yourself. Now, uh, let me show you guys what I do with this little ring thing on the side of the on the tail end of the knife. It's definitely not a fingering. You can't fit your fingers through it, but I can clip it to my lanyard like this. And this makes a pretty serviceable little neck knife actually, because when you tuck this under your shirt, it's so flat that it doesn't create any obscene looking, weird looking bulge on your shirt. It just look a little bit like a larger, like a medallion or pendant, and then you pull it out. Especially on long lanyard like this, I don't even have to take it off the lanyard. I can actually do my work this way if I'm opening a bag or opening a box, or it doesn't take much to just unclip it from the lanyard, and then I can use it however I need to, right? So this is a interesting one because usually I don't like folding knives as a neck knife, but this one actually serves as a pretty decent neck knife just because of how slim it is, and it has this handy way to clip it onto something at the end of the knife. And you can clip it onto your lanyard and just tuck it under your shirt, and off you go. Now, is this a good uh, utility knife? Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm thinking that something that is doesn't look very threatening. It has a slim profile, and it has uh, a nice blade that you can pierce things easily, and then with some uh, wrist rocking motion, you can cut even that tough material with that cardboard box. Not very well, but it did cut. Um, so I think for utility knife, it has some merit. Now, that unfortunately, that's where it stops. Then would it make a good survival knife? Heck no. Why not? Well, it's small. It's a folding knife. I usually say folding knives don't make very good survival knife. At best, you carry them as secondary in case your main knife fail for some reason. But this one is not even that good for that because, well, you need two hands to open it. So if you are in a survival situation like you're falling off the rock cliff or something, you need your other hand to hold on to something. There's no way you're going to open this unless you want to stick it in your mouth and use the teeth to open it, which I don't recommend. Um, right. So as a survival knife, also it doesn't have any holes on the side of the hilt, so you can't lash it to a stick to use it as a spear like a lot of other knives. I mean, I think if you get creative enough, you might be able to, but it's not going to be very good, right? And then the handle is very slippery, very hard on the hand. It's not easy to grip. So all this makes it just not good for survival anything. It's not a good survival knife. Is it a good self-defense knife? No. Again, you need two hands to open this, and there's just so much wrong with this grip that if you try to use this in a fight, you're going to cut off your own hand more likely than you cut the other person. It doesn't have enough of intimidating presence. It doesn't stab very well because of the hawkbill. Uh, if you do get in the commando grip, this handle is so skinny that it's going to slip and slide in your hand. And yeah, like I said, you are going to hurt yourself way more than you can hurt the other person. So in the end, the electrician Hawkbill knife by Smith& Wesson, uh, unfortunately, just not good for anything other than being a slightly fancy neck knife, utility knife. It's not what I would pick for survival. It's not what I would pick for self-defense. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Hopefully, I'll still get one more video uploaded tomorrow, and I'll get a chance to say so long to everybody. Right? Have a good night.